hemostasis. Hemostasis. What is hemostasis? Hemostasis is stoppage of bleeding, stoppage or arrest of bleeding after damage to the blood vessel. So when we get wounded, what happens? Blood start oozing out, right? So that flow of the blood which is coming out from the blood vessel, it has to stop. So hemostasis. So hemostasis over here, we mean that completely stoppage of bleeding. So there are few steps which comes under hemostasis. What are those? Vascular spasm or vasoconstriction. The next step is platelet plug formation. Third is the coagulation cascade process. Coagulation process. The fourth step which comes under hemostasis is clot retraction. And the fifth step is fibrinolysis. Fibrinolysis. So one by one we will talk about each of these. What do we mean by clot retraction, fibrinolysis, coagulation process, platelet plug formation and vasoconstriction. So first, as we have already know the term, what do we mean by? So all these 5 steps, they complete this hemostasis process. But before going into the actual coagulation process, we must know that in our circulatory system, the blood is continuously flowing. Why our circulating blood do not clot? That's the first thing we must know. So why our circulating blood do not clot? So there are few reasons behind that our circulating blood do not clot. One thing, coagulation is stoppage of bleeding by making a gel-like mass to be formed at the surface of the wound. That is also essential for the life. And this circulation of blood, this constant circulation of blood, that is also essential part of our life. That is essential for our life, right? So we must know why our circulating blood do not clot. So the first thing, that the blood is pumped at a constant speed, at a constant rate, and at a constant speed. So it is so our heart is going to pump the blood. Again the ventricle gets emptied, again it gets filled, and again it is going to pump the blood, and the blood will at a constant speed and rate will flow in our circulatory system. That is one reason. There are other important reasons that why our circulating blood do not clot. So suppose this is our blood vessel, vascular endothelial layer. Vascular endothelial layer. Okay. Vascular endothelial layers. So beneath vascular endothelial layer we have this connective tissue layer, and then we have our smooth muscle cell layer, right? Smooth muscle cells layer. Same thing goes there. I'm just showing one part of the diagram. So vascular, endothelial, cell layers, then beneath that this connective tissue cell layer and this smooth muscle cell. What happens is, see, the blood is continuously flowing in the blood vessel, right? Now this blood, the blood contains some, there are formed elements. Formed elements over here, I mean to say that there are platelets, there are platelets, there are WBCs, which is continuously circulating in the blood, platelet, WBC and RBC. So I will for each blood component I will give alphabet. So there are platelets which is circulating, then there are RBC which is circulating, there are WBCs, there are plasma proteins, there are proteins which is continuously circulating. So the thing is, this platelet has got tendency to stick to the endothelium and which can initiate the coagulation process, but there are few inbuilt mechanisms which will prevent the aggregation or sticking of this platelet to the endothelial surface. So what are those proteins? So the first protein, actually what happens, this endothelial cell layers, they secrete one component, that is nitric oxide, and they also secrete component prostacyclin. Now this nitric oxide and prostacyclin, what they do, they inhibit the platelet. It means your platelets are there, but they are inactive in a sense that they cannot go and stick to the endothelial surface layer. So they are kept inactive by this nitric oxide and prostacyclin. Next, this endothelial surface layer has a protein which is known as heparin sulfate or proteoglycan, glycosaminoglycans. So there is a heparin sulfate. Now what happened, this heparin sulfate, to this heparin sulfate, one more protein will go and bind. What is the name of that protein which will go and bind to this heparin sulfate? That is antithrombin 3. It goes and binds to this heparin sulfate. What does this do? What these proteins do? These proteins, see, as I have said that the circulating blood, they have many components like RBC, WBC, platelet and plasma protein and clotting factors also. So what happens, this antithrombin C will inhibit few clotting factors, which are clotting factor 2, clotting factor 9 and clotting factor 10. So clotting factors are also kept inactivated so that our circulating blood do not clot. There is one more protein which helps to keep our blood free from clotting. The name of that protein is thrombomodulin. Now to this thrombomodulin, one more protein will come and bind, that is thrombin. Now what do they do? This protein, they will inactivate few clotting factors, which is 5 and 8. So these are the few important reasons or the mechanism behind why our circulating blood do not clot. So this inactivation of the clotting factors, continuous flow of the blood and the secretion of nitric oxide and prostacyclins which inactivates the platelets are the important reason why our circulating blood do not clot. Now let's come back to the topic that what is hemostasis. As we have earlier discussed that hemostasis is arrest or stoppage of bleeding. So the steps which completes this process of hemostasis is, we have already discussed that vascular spasm or vascular constriction. So we'll talk about vascular constriction. So by the name vascular constriction, we can understand the name itself defines that vascular constriction. So there is ultimately going to be a process which leads to constriction of the blood vessels, which will help in the stoppage of bleeding. So what's the reason behind that? We'll see. Now vascular constriction. Now suppose there is damage to this area. For some reason there was damage to this area. Now what will happen? So the blood will start leaking out of this vessel, which we don't want. We want this leaking of the blood has to be stopped immediately. So for that, what happens? This damaged blood vessels, will secrete a component, will secrete a molecule known as endothelin. Will secrete a molecule which is known as endothelin. What this endothelin will do? This endothelin will go and it will bind to this. What are these? These are smooth muscle cells. It will go and bind to the receptors of this smooth muscle cell. And what will happen after when this endothelin bind to the receptor, there will be activation of calcium concentration, and which will lead to the contraction of the smooth muscle. This will lead to the contraction of the smooth muscle. Once the smooth muscle contracts, this vessel will also contract. Okay, so what will happen? So when this muscle contract, ultimately it will lead to the decrease in the diameter of the blood vessels. So these vessels will also contract, and it will try to stop the leaking of the blood. So this is one reason for. So this is one reason for stoppage of vascular constriction. What are the other reasons? So for vascular constriction, so this is one reason. Another reason which leads to stoppage of bleeding via this vascular constriction is myogenic theory. Myogenic theory. What does it tell? What does it tell? What do we understand by the term myogenic theory?